I knew I wanted to start another studio and start another game, try and come up with a new IP again. And so, first off, I took some time off in between Activision and here. And one of the things I did was I went down to the desert in Tucson, and I would every day, like I did this for a couple of weeks. My wife let me. She knew I needed some time off just to kind of relax and reflect, and I would go out to the desert and draw. But at the same time, I'm trying to think of ideas for games, and I came up with a few and wrote them up. And the one for this game is one that kind of rose to the top for me. So I started going out and meeting with the top developers and publishers and talking with them about starting a new studio and making a new IP and a new game.
Going back to the desert, was there a specific drawing that was kind of the moment that it clicked for you that you wanted to do Callisto next?
That's a good question. I don't remember a particular drawing. What I was doing at the time was kind of quick little sketches here and there. Then I would kind of go back to my room or whatever and draw them out a little bit more. So it would have been more of a batch of drawings, because an idea is a partial one will either hit me or it didn't all hit me at once. It's like, okay, it grew on me, right? Okay, I want to do it on the moon of Jupiter. Okay, which moon? And then I would kind of think about that, and I would look that up. Okay, Callisto, and then I knew I wanted to do it in a prison, because what's scarier than being in a prison, right? Just to start with, right?
Yeah, right.
So they kind of grew, but once you've got that idea, ideas start coming. The more ideas start rapid fire, because it's all making sense then. It was pretty close. I called it actually Meteor Down, not Callisto. I had a different idea on how things started. And then when we got together, I got my writers together, and we just kind of changed it around a little bit, but it's pretty intact, the idea.
How long do you think it took to finally get it from that idea stage to at least what it is now in its final form?
Well, you do your initial kind of maybe a 10-pager, right? You write about the story and everything. But to be honest with you, something like this took, a year and a half or more to write, because you have the characters that you have to come up with, and all of a sudden you need another character, and you need this, or you need a different location than what we were thinking of. And so it does take a while, because it goes from a story, and then you have to start writing the script for the story, and then levels have to fit within the story, because sometimes you write a story and you're like, hey, but we're starting to talk about gameplay, and that doesn't work as well, right? It's not as fun. We can't come up with stuff, so we may have to change the story at that point. That's why we do our performance capture, or PCAP. We do that later in the game, because you don't want to keep going back and doing the PCAP over and over again. Now, motion capture, we have our own motion capture stage, so we'll do that over and over. That's fine. But the performance capture is different. That's when you get 4 or 5 actors together and everything's recorded.
Interesting. As you as a writer then, and this is maybe more my morbid curiosity than anything, did you have things like an ending or some of the tentpole moments locked in and they have to change how does that process work for you at the start?
Yeah. Can I add to that? Are you the sort of writer that starts with the ending and works backwards?
It depends. That's a good question. Let me just clarify. I think of myself more as a storyteller than as a writer.
Okay.
So I will do a lot of writing, but at the end of the day, I say to the writers, you guys go over it, make sure it's done right. With this one, let's see. We were looking for an ending, and it kind of it evolved over time. This one wasn't one that, but so we started with one, right? And then that one kind of evolved. So it's not like we threw it out. It's like you have to start with something that evolved. There are a couple that I've had in the past, say Dead Space, where I knew exactly where I wanted to end. Now, with this one, I knew where I wanted to end with this story, and I knew how I wanted to end it. Now, I don't want to get into that, but I mean, gameplay-wise, I knew exactly what I wanted to happen to the character or to the player in the last scene.